Hey, how's it going, guys? Principals Hunting here, Aaron Miller, and I am back out in my food plots just doing a kind of a late season check. I'm walking in and I can already see some tracks and stuff here on the ground leading around it. I left one of my cameras out here actually during deer season and never grabbed it on the way out. So I'm going to try to come and get a couple of pictures and some video of my plot, give you guys some feedback on what's going on, because it has been a while since my last video and I apologize for that, but stay tuned. Guys, I'm walking down through my plot and give you a little backstory. This is the last week of February. Today is February 25th. We just had 3 days off school because of an ice storm that came through here in Missouri, and got a couple inches of sleet, a little bit of snow, a little bit of ice, and I'm walking down through my food plot here. And I'm going to take some pictures and some other video of just without me talking, show you guys kind of what's in here. But I'm just trying to track down through here and see where the deer trails go. I'm actually following a small trail right now of what looks to be a small buck, nothing too big, but just trying to kind of see where they travel. And then I'm going to take some video for you guys to see what it is that I'm working on and kind of how it all looks in here. Right now it's pretty open and not a lot of forage at all. So I'm going to turn the camera around here in just a minute and show you what this looks like, and then go from there. So guys, this is kind of the end of my food plot, and I have intentions of maybe going out into here down in the future maybe and trimming out some more of this brush that you guys can see like right here. And there's some more like briars and all that stuff up in there, but not too much. The deer trails that I'm seeing, you guys can see right there in the snow, go off down in that direction. There's a big dip down in here, and then it goes on to some other people's property. And I'm afraid that that's probably where the bedding is actually this hill drops off down in here. So I think there's probably some bedding down in this hill, as well as over that ridge. It drops down into another property, as well as some deeper ravines. And so I don't think there's a lot of bedding on this property. In fact, you can't hardly see, but straight ahead of here is a couple of posts. That is the fence line. And then as I turn, it's only about 250 yards that way before we hit the other side. This is only a 20-acre piece of property. So there's not a lot of bedding on here. So that's part of the reason why I'm working on food, as kind of trying to build a pass through as close as I can. As you can see on the ground, the deer do walk up through there, and I'm gonna keep on going and kind of show you, but I'll be honest with you, walking with this cell phone, it makes it a little hard to focus. So I'm gonna move into the next spot and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So we just came from that way, and that's just kind of a logging road that goes that way. And there was some logging and some brush piles back up there, kind of where I was showing you on the first video there. And then we walk into this area that was kind of a holding, and it's open. Not a lot, but maybe a 1/10 of an acre or so right here that's open and a little bit easier to work the ground. The only problem is, as you can see, there are some still pretty mature trees around here, which makes it a little bit harder to get sunlight in the middle of summer. Spring, if I can get some frost seeding in, which this has some perennial clovers in it, it will come back up. In fact, I did spread some oats and wheats on here, so it did not come in very good this fall because I planted and we didn't get rain for over a month. Forecasted rain disappeared out of the forecast and didn't happen. So it did not grow well. So I'm anticipating some of that. Maybe the wheat and the rye actually coming up this spring, which happened to me actually last year. I planted just winter rye and it didn't come up in the fall, or not very well. And come springtime, by the time we got into April and May, I had winter rye as tall as my hips. So this is the middle section of my food plot. If you've watched my other videos and some of the work I've done on this, all I did was come in on a food plot or on a logging road and clear it. Tried to clear any brush and extra trees out of the way, drop back some limbs and a few other things, and just use these existing roads that you see here that go into my main food plot as trails. And there is some deer trails on here just from probably yesterday. Hopefully I'll be able to catch those on my camera. We'll see. I'm going to take you into that last section of food plot. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we're going to do with it. Okay, so here I am in my last section of food plot, and I've taken a couple of videos from my perspective. I'm just going to kind of spin this around. This is a food plot where I've actually done several of my videos. You'll see that in my pictures. I need to put a new salt lick and mineral lick out here. If you look over here, over my shoulder, you're going to see kind of an entrance into another section of this main area that I would call it. This is where we get the most sun. This is where I get the most growth. This is ultimately, I think, where I get most of my pictures and my action video wise, as well as hunting. As I look around this plot, there's not a lot of thick grass. There is some brush, which is a good thing. If you actually go over the fence over that way, there's cows in the summer and sometimes in the fall, and they keep that pretty clear. This section is a little bit, I say thicker. It's not a whole lot thicker, but it's a little thicker. There's definitely brush and things that we have to work around. The deer are feeling a little bit more comfortable up on this section. And that's part of the reason I put it here, as well as keeping the cows out. There's fences all the way around. There's fences in between where those cows roam in the summer and in the fall. In this section here, they have gotten over here once or twice. I've caught them on camera in here before, but most of the time they're not in this, so I don't have to worry about them taking care of the grass and the clover. It's mainly for the deer. And what I told you as I was coming up through that last section is I wanted to kind of share with you what I'm going to do. And so as you can see behind me, this section is all open and clear. As I turned earlier and you saw the section that kind of butts up against it, that place needs some work, but so does the whole thing. As I walk through here, you can see that this is middle of the timber. It's not a lot of full sun. There's maybe a couple hours, several hours of sun. During the summer, it gets a lot more shaded. And right now, you'll see a couple of the pictures along the way. The leaf cover is pretty bad. There's green in here. There's a little bit of clover left down under the bottom, but there's not a lot. And last growing season for me was not as good as the year before. Clover wise, 2 years ago, I had 7, 8, 9 inches tall. It was thick, it was lush. The summer got really hot and it kind of went dormant, and I didn't have as much to hunt over in the fall as I would have liked, but I did have some good action. This year, it was a lot punier, and I don't know if that's because I didn't do a lot of soil amendments. I did add a little bit of fertilizer, but not a lot. So this summer, I am going to be coming in this spring and doing a little bit of frost seeding just to try to make sure there's some clover here over the summer. I even thought about maybe doing a little bit of buckwheat, trying to get the soil amended a little bit, but I have a feeling that what I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to come in and I'm probably going to have to till. The bad thing about that is all I have is a hand tiller, just a rotary tiller. And so it's going to take time, but a lot of this is compacted ground. It's pretty rocky. It's the Ozarks, obviously. And when we did disc up this middle spot, it's about the only place we could get the disc to because the disc was too big for these little trails. It did take off pretty good, and it still actually grows pretty good just by the frost seeding method and just dropping it out there. But with all the leaf cover on the ground right now, I'm a little bit worried about getting the seed down through to the soil. So I'm going to kind of wait until we get this snow off. Then I might throw some out and try to drag it and get some seed down to the soil, see if I can fill in some of these bare spots. But then probably this summer, well, this spring probably, I'm going to come in and mow off some of this leaf litter, mulch it down. And then this summer, hopefully have enough time for the lime and the fertilizer that I'm going to put on this spring to kind of settle into the ground and start taking effect, till it, and put in a fall blend this fall that has several different varieties in it, as well as a clover or some form of perennial that I want to establish. I really don't like tilling very much. I'm not a big fan of erosion. This is a little bit of a hilltop, and so I don't want to make this a big mess, and I may not till it very deep. I may just come in here and rough up the ground enough to get some soil contact going, and throw and grow, drag, get it going, and hopefully establish a nice little plot in here. I've actually got 2 plots going right now. The only problem I have is the other plot has other people that hunt in the area. It's a little hard for me to go and put a bunch of money into something that I may not be able to hunt over exclusively. This one, for the most part, I can hunt over exclusively. There's no one else that hunts in here. So if that continues, I'm going to try to maybe put my work and my money into this one a little bit more. That's what I hope to be able to share with you guys this summer. It's been a crazy year, and if you're watching this video, you'll notice that I haven't posted a video in probably a couple of months, unfortunately. One of the last videos I did was one of my hunting experiences from like Christmas. So it's been a crazy couple of months in our school. We haven't had 2 consistent weeks of school since January 4th, and that gets a little crazy on teachers and kids and principals. So that's what we've been doing here lately. I'm gonna grab my camera, I'm gonna put this video together for you guys and try to bring you some content. I am hoping to get a few things in. We are doing some hopefully some hunting for coyotes in the near future, as well as just trying to get out, do some work on reloading and getting some of my varmint, as well as deer hunting rounds put together for the future. So hey, I may bring you some of that, as well as some gear videos. I did do a couple of additions to my saddle hunting this year I want to bring to you guys, and so I'll share that with you. So don't want to miss any of those. I know my channel is small, but if you have stumbled across one of these videos or something like that, hit the icon down below and subscribe, follow along. It's not necessarily professional content, but these are things that I've learned or am learning or hope to be trying as the future unfolds in front of me here with the next season coming. So I hope you guys will join me in that. So follow along with those things by hitting subscribe and the bell down below and staying notified as I start putting these contents back out. Hopefully, as the weather starts to change and gets a little warmer, maybe we'll have some consistency at school, and I'll be able to get you some of these videos a little more often. So hope you guys are getting out and enjoying, getting things ready. I know there's a lot of guys out already doing spring stuff and getting things ready and doing their food plot and their land management. So hit some comments down below and tell me what it is that you guys are working on, what it is that you'd like to maybe see me try here in my plots here in southern Missouri, rocky soil, in the woods. Let me know what you think, and I'll see what I can try. Take it easy, guys. Have a good week.